Wheat!
If it fits!
City Girl is a 1930 F.W. Murnau film about a country boy who goes to the big city, meets a girl, marries her, and brings her back to the family farm where they run into some family troubles. I have only seen one other Murnau film. I know, I have a lot to watch, and that is Sunrise. I think they're fairly similar films with their juxtapositions between urban and rural life and its focus on two lovers being pulled apart, albeit for very different reasons. I really enjoyed the front half of the film that focuses on Lem and Kate falling in love. It was light and funny and romantic, a tone Murnau really excels in, and I would have liked to have seen more of that film, but ultimately, when the two get back to the farm, things get very serious and it falls into melodrama, which isn't a bad thing. I was just enjoying the lightheartedness at the start of the film, and I was really hoping that that would continue. The real standout of the film for me, and the moment that takes your breath away, is when Kate and Lem first return to the farm, and there's this beautiful shot of them running through the wheat fields. Really, everything that Murnau shoots involving wheat seems to have been shot with great thought and care. I didn't have a lot to say about the film itself. I thought, I can't make an entire video about wheat. But then I thought, yeah, I can. So I looked up a list of movies that had wheat, watched 10 of them, and now I'm going to rank them. Not by how good the movies are, but by their use of wheat in the film. Also, let me say, these are not necessarily the best wheat films of all time. They're just 10 movies I picked at random from a random list of films that contain wheat that I found on the internet. Number 10, What's with Wheat? This film is wheat slander. This is anti-wheat propaganda, and I won't stand for it. Not only that, they barely show any wheat in the whole film. The science behind what they're talking about, I have no idea. I won't comment on that, and I don't need to, because if you love bread, you will hate this film. Number 9, Tideland. I don't think there's any wheat in this film. I think that's grass. One of the more important things I've learned about myself during this whole process is that I don't really know what wheat looks like. If you give me a lineup of dead corn stalks, wheat, and grass, I'm not sure I could pick the wheat out. Having said that, the film isn't anti-wheat, so that's an improvement. It might be anti-Jeff Bridges after what they do to the man. If you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. It might even be anti-childhood innocence, but it is neutral on the topic of wheat and therefore ranks number 9. Number 8, The House That Jack Built. What is going on with the wheat films on this list? If this was a list of films with, spoiler, houses made out of corpses, The House That Jack Built would be number 1. However, this is not a list of films containing structures made out of dead bodies. And even though this film is surprisingly funny with a great performance from Matt Dillon, it is seriously lacking in wheat content. One scene while Jack descends into hell. It's a nice scene where Jack reflects on his childhood, maybe the only memory where he was happy, innocent. The meaning is besides the point. It's about the wheat. And again, I'm not 100% sure that is wheat. Number 7, Superman. Now remember, this ranking has nothing to do with the film itself, or in this instance, the scene. It's a fine scene, with Clark saying goodbye to Ma Kent, but the wheat, it's too low. I want wheat in a film to be chest height, minimum up to the waist. Richard Donner tries to fake it here with this low angle, but I ain't buying it. Donner. It also doesn't help that this scene does take place in the objectively worst part of the movie. Just cut the first hour. We don't need it. Number 6, The Lovely Bones. Is this wheat or is this grass? This is a cornfield, so if it is wheat, why is this wheat and not corn? Corn is earth and wheat is heaven? I don't know, but it turns liquid, and I like that. If you're gonna have wheat in a film, give me something different. Number 5, Thunderbolt and Lightfoot. This movie front-loads its wheat. Lots of wheat at the start of the film, and then less so as the movie progresses. But what a start. We open on wheat. The whole of the opening titles it's just wheat gently swaying in the breeze. And then we're running through the wheat getting chased by a man with a gun. It's not tall enough. It's only knee height, but it's the perfect height for this moment because then we're driving through wheat. The meet cute of our two main characters happens in the wheat field. This is a great wheat action set piece. Number 4, The Reflecting Skin. Wheat films are not happy films, but again, we open on the wheat field at the perfect height for a child. We close with a child running through a wheat field, now harvested, childhood innocent lost, parallels, filmmaking, wheat making. There are too many beautiful shots of wheat in this film to mention, so I won't. Number 3, The Host. Saoirse Ronan, back again in a film that has underground wheat at the perfect height, grown with mirrors. Are you kidding me? What more do you want from a film that has wheat in it? Saoirse Ronan has now been in a film with liquid wheat and underground wheat. Saoirse wins the award for being in the most films with the most creative uses of wheat. Number 2, Gladiator. Forget carbohydrates. The only reason wheat exists is for you to lightly run your hand over the tops, open palmed, as you meander through a field. If you're reuniting with your wife and child who were brutally murdered by a petulant young Caesar in the afterlife, all the better. But it's not necessary. You can be pensive, you can be wistful, you can be reflective. There's a whole cornucopia of emotions that you could be going through while delicately caressing a slightly swaying crop of wheat. And this is the movie that paved the way for us all. Thank you, Ridley Scott. Thank you, Russell Crowe. Yes, we are entertained. And number 1, Days of Heaven. Yeah, it's kind of the obvious choice, but this is the quintessential Wheat film. It's been said that City Girl influenced or was an inspiration for Terrence Malick when making this film. I couldn't find anywhere that Malick had actually said that, but now having seen both films, I believe it. This movie has it all. Harvesting wheat, bundles of wheat, burning wheat, wheat at a variety of heights, locusts. So if you're sitting down and you're saying to your partner, we haven't watched a wheat-centric movie in such a long time, think about throwing on Days of Heaven. So now, what did I learn from all this? I think the most important thing I learned was where there is wheat, there is Saoirse Ronan, and there is despair. Let me know in the comments what great wheat moments in film I missed, and click that if you want to hear me talk about some more films from the 30s.